Shalom. Shalom, shalom, shalom. I want to start off by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushai, Bahashem, Kakadash. I want to give a double honor to the elders and the apostles of GMS Great Millstone, who do rule well, and the salutation to the hopeful elect. Super quick video. All right, this is basically what Russia, all right, is telling Israel. Okay, we know, those two have been setting off missiles. All right, we're watching the beginning of the Israel state. All right, drawing out the rest of their allies. All right, as pertaining to Jeremiah, Jeremiah the 49th chapter. All right, the least of the flock should draw them out. All right, so we know through prophecy, all right, that so-called Israel is going to cause conflict grave enough to where they're going to be basically wiped off, all right, and it's going to force America and its allies to get involved in this fight, all right, and that's the Lord mustering up the host of the battle, all right, getting all these nations. First of all, the Lord is setting. First of all, Salakia. First of all, let's start with the Lord is a man of war. Okay. All right. And he hushed up the most of the. He mustered up the host of the battle. Okay. So the Lord is the one who's setting the stage, setting the board. All right. Getting their repertoire together. All right. Getting their numbers together. All right. And getting these people in the mindset. All right. Of war. Okay. So this is the Lord doing. All right. And matter of fact, let's get that real quick. All right. Let's get what that's at. Let's get Ezekiel. Let's get Ezekiel. No, Salakia. Salakia. Let's get Isaiah 34. Verse 1 and verse 2. It says, Isaiah 34 and 1, it says, "Come near, ye nations, all right, to hear and hearken, ye people." All right. So basically everybody that's living on the earth at this time. All right. Ye people, let the earth hear, and all that is therein, the world and all the things that come forth of it. All right. All right. So this is for everybody. Okay. This is for everybody that's alive in this time. All right. It says, "For the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations." All right. So first, let's get this word indignation. Okay. Because people here read these things and they think of just words as in words when we write them. All right. But when they come from the words from the Heavenly Father, you have to understand that they're very more they're very more meaningful meaningful, all right, when they come from the Lord. Okay. INDGNAT. All right, here we go. Indignation. It says fury, rage, right? Disrespect, or directly Latin displeasure, be angry or displeased at. All right. All right. So that's basically the Lord is about to bring his fury and his rage. Okay. But it says back in Isaiah 34, it says, "For the Lord, fury and rage of the Lord is upon all nations." You see? Okay. So that's why we're not going to see, all right, which is the main point. All right. So this little quick clip we're about to watch, all right, is that these nations is basically wasting their time, but they have to go through through the checkpoints. We get it, all right, but understanding this word, all right, and been waiting on this day, okay, the rest of the world not believing us, calling us crazy, telling us it's just not how the Bible This is not what the Bible mean, you know, and everything else those scoffers say, right? Seeing this thing, you know, sometimes we can forget that they have to go through the checkpoints. Okay, so they're going to try to prevent this war, all right, from taking place. Okay, and if it wasn't for the Lord putting it on their spirits to do this thing, okay, they probably wouldn't do it. All right, but we know that this is prophecy. This is the end of the so-called white man rulership. All right, so these things must go. These things must come. All right. Matter of fact, let's get this real quick because again, people don't understand that that we're watching. All right, we're watching the theater of the Lord while actually being a part of the main one. Okay, that's how cold the Lord is. All right, He got us watching the movie while we're in the movie. Okay, this is Salakia. Where you at? Proverbs 21:1. It says the king heart is in the hand of the Lord. All right, and we know that word heart goes into loud. All right, which goes into your mind. Okay, so the king's mind is in the hand of the Lord. As rivers of water, He turneth it so wherever He will. Okay, so the Lord is the one who's putting it on Netanyahu. All right, to think that he can overcome. All right, to think that he can bully. All right, to think that him and Trump can have their way. All right, and the people are emotionally invested in this thing. Okay, like their eyes is really closed. All right, they can't see. They think that their future is gonna be okay no matter what's the outcome. Okay, all right, because just yesterday Trump said that to build he wanted to build vacation spots on that strip Gaza. Okay, so him not being or America not being fully funded or fully into this war with Israel, all right, if you believe that, all right, you fully mistaken. Okay, so everything that play out from this, all right, is very important to you so-called Americans. Okay, because it's going to start off here, all right, but it's going to end over here in America. All right, but it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and His fury upon all the armies. All right, so that include all you heathen nations. All right, that's what they don't get about the Bible. Okay, like the Lord is about to send His son back, who's coming back to make war, man, with all you people, bro, with all your so-called armies. He about to beat you down, bro. All right, it's scary. All right, but it says, for the indignation of the Lord is upon all nations, and His fury upon all their armies. You see, all nations and all their armies. Okay, He have utterly destroyed them. He have delivered them to the slaughter. All right. So that's what's going on. Okay. So no matter, even though we know that Russia is going to eventually going to have to get involved, all right, it doesn't matter about none of these type of conversations or none of these think groups, okay, because the Lord has hijacked the people that control whether or not things get shot off or not. All right, so that's all that really matters. All right, so the people don't understand that we're watching. All right, we're watching Pharaoh. All right, being turned over to the Lord. Matter of fact, let's get there real quick, and then we're gonna play this clip. All right, because this is the second Egypt. All right, over here in America. And this is going to be our second deliverance, all right, by the way of the Lord. Okay, this is Exodus. Let's get Exodus 7:3. It says, "And I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt." Okay, so. And if you're not familiar with the story, go read it. All right, but we know that the Lord had plagued that place. All right, He even offered to go against their so-called prophetess and witches and warlocks of that time. All right. So the Lord is very much in tune with what's going on with the earth. He's very much in tune with all the words of the heathen. All right. And how you treated his people. All right. So what we're watching is the people who've been in control of everything. All right. Are starting to get to a point to where they're infighting. All right. And they're not being on one accord. It's about to destroy their society and their livelihood. Okay, by the way of the Lord. All right, for His people. All right.
Madam President, we would like to thank the Undersecretary General for Political Affairs, Political and Peacebuilding Affairs. We thank Ms. DiCarlo and the Director General of the IAA, Ms. Grossi. We thank them for their briefings. First of all, we would like to express our condolences to the leadership and the people of the Islamic Republic of Iran, having to do with the numerous victims, including amongst civilians,
And I watched this video like 3 times, Salaki. I thought that was a translator. I thought it was a woman, but it's the dude talking. I was like, what the hell? Is that a translator or... But it's actual him, though. I don't know why he sound like that, but hey, man, they heat this, man.
were the result of Israeli action. In front of our eyes, because of Israeli action, what is happening is a very dangerous escalation in the Middle East region, and this is something that requires an immediate attention from this council. We are grateful to the Guyana presidency for convening this meeting of ours so expeditiously. It's symptomatic that initially the council was to consider today, at this very time, the humanitarian consequences of inhumane actions by Israel against the people in the Gaza Strip. Instead of that, we are here having to discuss a new, most dangerous and irresponsible adventure by West Jerusalem in the region, but this time it is also pushing the region to a large-scale nuclear catastrophe.
Okay, I think that is translated. That cannot be him. All right, but as you can see, okay, they're saying that no matter what Israel try to say, all right, because we didn't heard from the speech that the boy put on. All right, that now the Jew, all right, that he put on the other day, or like the other night, right after they shot off the missiles, he was talking about, yeah, ain't nobody about to go around boasting and talking about they gonna destroy us and like just expect for us like to sit back and let them do it. All right, we're not gonna do it and all this and all that. Right, none of those things give you rights to go put your hands on nobody else, let alone start bombing their country. Okay, but this is the justification of the devil. He don't need no damn justification. All right. He don't need no damn justification. This is what he do. All right. All right. Hold on. Hold that thought. This one came right to my mind. I gotta get it. Here we go. Revelation 6:4. It says, and there went out another horse that was red. All right. And we know that red is symbolic to what? To the Edomites, man. Goddamn devils, man. All right. The people of the Lord's curse. Okay. They used to go by the name of what? Rednecks. Right? Obvious, right? But it says, and there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right. Power was given to this goddamn devil. Okay. Pertaining back, going back to the blessing, all right, that Isaac had blessed Esau with, all right, that he was going to get the dew of heaven, all right, and he was going to get the earth by the sword, all right, meaning that he was going to beat everybody into submission, right? He was going to war with everybody. That's his personality. That's why this goddamn devil, at his comfortableness, all right, even if he ain't going to go hunt no goddamn deer or no animal, all right, I don't know how it is in other states, but here in Ohio, you can always catch some goddamn Edomites in their camouflage gear, all right? That's them, okay? It says, And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right, and that's the point. Okay, when nobody is provoking this devil, he's going to do it anyway. That's what we're trying to get to you people. All right. Of course, you ain't gonna get it. All right, but it's for the hopeful elect, people who can understand. All right, who can put two and two together. Okay, they're gonna see. All right, and it says, and that they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Okay, and you can liken that into his army. Okay, you can liken that into the missiles. All right, the being able to develop an atomic bomb at first. All right, because when he first dropped those bombs, you have to understand that shook the world up. All right, that backed up the USRR. Did I say that right? The USSR, the Slovakia. All right, but that kind of gave the so-called Edomites, all right, the real control over the earth. All right, and this nigga has been in power, all right, for the longest. Okay, but now we've seen that the Lord has gave that same technology, all right, that's going to defeat the Western Hemisphere, all right, by the way of what? Russia. Okay, and those are going to be the two main big dogs, all right, that's going to usher in the annihilation of this man's civilization. Okay.
Early hours of the 13th of June, Israel delivered a number of extensive strikes against the territory of the Islamic Republic of Iran. Peaceful sleeping cities were struck, civilian infrastructure, and peaceful nuclear installations under IAEA safeguards. We heard from the briefers today that there have been victims amongst civilians. This completely unprovoked attack, no matter what Israel says to the contrary, is a gross violation of the UN Charter and international law.
Bam. And that's what I wanted to get. All right. So as you can see, these other nations hate these goddamn devils. All right. And they don't want to abide by the law. They just think that they can do whatever they want to do. All right. But this is the Lord, all right, showing the nations who you are. They don't get it. They don't understand that first you get exposed, and then the people are going to readjust, and now you about to be hated. Okay, and we know how these goddamn Edomites are. All right, they don't like to be looked at as enemies. All right, they get off on people thinking that they're holier than thou. Okay, they like to be ushered into this privilege situation. Okay, but once they get this hate target on them, okay, that's really when you're going to see a whole lot of infighting, even over here in America. All right, they're going to come down with great wrath. All right, because they know they have but a short time. All right, because all the other nations is really seeing this devil for who he really is. He don't have nobody else to blame it on. He don't have a Jake face to throw out there. You know what I'm saying? And blame it on. You know, and ain't nobody believing those same ass lies. He been running since 1936. All right, he done knocked off everybody who tried to stand up against him under the same goddamn tactics. Everybody is the T word. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's the T word. Come to find out, man, these people were just trying to do the best thing for their country. All right, and it wasn't and it wasn't given the power to the so-called white man, so they got rid of them. All right, and that's the truth of the matter. Okay. All right, so these people have made enemies all around the world. All right, but again, this is what the Lord wants. Okay, and guess what? They don't give a damn. All right, we already read the Exodus. All right, so the Lord is dealing with these goddamn Edomites. All right, people do not understand that these people only have been cool and allowed things to get to where they at now because of prophecy. That was the Lord doing that. All right, but by nature, these people love war. Right, they love blood. All right, ain't no such thing as peace to them. All right, they already control everything. So why is they doing everything they doing now? Because they always going to find a reason. All right. This is Psalms 117 and 13. It says, "Arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down." Right? Deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. Okay. And we have to understand that they are the wicked. That's what make them the wicked, because not even being provoked, they're going to do wickedly. They're going to kill people without even having a justifiable reason. All right, just because they want the territory. Okay, like, what more do you have to witness? What more do you have to say? To get through these people's skull. All right, and that's why the Americans over here, they're the dumbest, because them same set people is running your government. So best believe when they figure out, or when they feel like that y'all not privy to the lies anymore, or not believing the things that they got to say, they're going to use their goddamn power and try to knock as many heads as they can off, man. All right, while having bunkers already waiting on them. Okay, so these people have to go. All right, and their little enterprise, their little plan that they got going on. All right, that shit ain't gonna work. All right, and the elites of you, okay, you all gonna make it to your bunkers. Okay, just to be the first slaves. All right, nobody gets away in this. All right, and nobody is gonna stop this. All right, but it's a beautiful thing though to see Russia stepping in, because that's according to prophecy, right? He should be a guard to those nations over there, okay? Because let's not forget, Russia got the Satan 1 and Satan 2, right? And that junk can get to anywhere it need to get to and demolish everything that's around. All right. It says, verse 14, Psalm 17 and 14, it says, "From man which are thy hand." Right, man, because those goddamn Edomites, man, that's the left hand side of the Lord, right? That's the wicked. That's why they worship Satan, right? It says, "From men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world, right, which have their portion in this life, and whose belly thou fillest with thy hidden treasures." Right, man, because they the ones who control, or they're the ones who got Jake in captivity over here, mainly what in the North Americans, man. All right, all right. So they the ones who the Lord is coming back, all right, to take down, all right, to let His people go again, all right. But it's only going to be the elect this time. It's not going to be exactly like how it was in Egypt. Okay, He ain't taking everybody this time. All right, 2/3 of the people who really believe in America, believe in the system, they're going to be left here and be burnt by them same missiles from these same nations that's at the round table right now speaking. Okay, they're going to be the same ones shooting out the missiles over here. All right, but it says, "And whose belly thou fillest with thy hidden treasures. They are full of children, and leave the rest of their substance to their babes." Right, man, because again, the prosperity of the wicked, all right, we have seen over and over again, man. The so-called white man get away with so much evil, right? This nigga don't never make the right judgments, right? He run his world, or he run his society in wickedness, right? Giving women power, right? Men not being having a word, or having a voice, right? Everything is out of order, all right, under this so-called man leadership, all right? So I just wanted to bring it out real quick. I pray this lesson was edifying, and we give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, by Hashem, Yahweh Shai, by Hashem, Kakada, Shalom.